Hello everybody, Veda Ray here, and I am going to try today, for the first time, to restore a Monster High doll. This Monster High doll. Beautiful Draculara, Picture Day Draculara. I showed her off a little bit in my, Monster High haul starting my collection video a little while ago. Her hair's really gummy. I've taken it out of its, hairstyle. It's really covered in glue seepage. Part of the rubber band. Yeah, there we go. So we are gonna try to get all this glue seepage out. I'm gonna wash her whole body, wash her accessories, her clothes. Yeah, so first things first, let's get rid of all these accessories and her clothes and make it easier to wash everything. So I have some water here in front of me. And I also have some water in the spray bottle. I'm just gonna spritz her hair because I need it to kind of be moistened before I add anything else to it, but I don't really want to dunk her entire head just yet. I'm not ready to rinse her face off or anything like that. There were some little tags stuck in her scalp where her headband that it didn't come with when I ordered this doll was, but there was a plastic headband that came with her, so it still had those little plastic nibs. Alright, gonna add some Gooby Gone because that helps break down the glue and get rid of all that stick tackiness that's just awful. I tried to work that in, especially in the places that felt really gooey, so like where her little bun pigtail things had been. Tried to get all of that out. Now, her bangs weren't super glued down, so I do think this doll has been washed or dipped in water or something before she came to me, which could explain why her hair was kind of in rough condition. She's clearly had some playtime with her. Now, the concern here is, since I've never done this before, I didn't want the Gooby Gone to mess up her face or take off any of her paint, so I was really careful not to get that on there. And also, I wasn't sure if by putting the Gooby Gone directly on her scalp, if that was going to make the hair start to come out. Luckily, it didn't. Spoiler alert. It did not make her hair come out, which was great. And I don't think it really made the glue seepage seep any more than it already was. Alright, so I'm going to leave that Gooby Gone on her hair for about 15 minutes or so, and then I'll rinse it out and see where we're at there. In the meantime, though, I'm going to take this dishwashing detergent soap, 7th generation citrus, so it smells nice. I'm going to add a little bit of that to this water that I have and get it nice and sudsy. Ah, yeah, bubbles. Everybody loves a good bubble bath. I'm going to take her clothing and her accessories, and we're going to make sure that this gets nice and rinsed. I do this regardless, I think, for dolls. I'm going to start now that I'm collecting. This is like my first batch of dolls, but I think I'm going to make it a habit to kind of rinse clothing and accessories and stuff, because I've seen what kids do to library books. I can't imagine what they do to dolls, so if I'm buying these secondhand, I really want them clean, even before the whole 2019 of it all. Yeah, we're just gonna make sure that all these things get nice and soapy and disinfected and clean. So we're gonna let that soak also while the Gooby Gone is on Draculara's hair, and then come back. Nice aesthetic shot of everything swirling around. You're welcome. Alright, so I came back after things had set for probably 30 minutes instead of 10. Oops, it's fine. And I decided that before I rinsed everything, I wanted to go ahead and give Draculara's body a good scrub. Tried to sponge off some of the Gooby Gone so it wouldn't drip on anything that it wasn't supposed to be on before I started scrubbing her. Now, I used a face scrub brush because it is really, really soft bristles. I've seen videos of YouTubers trying to clean up their dolls, and then some of the facial paint comes off with Monster High, and I was so worried that even though this wasn't like a first wave or one of the really early dolls, and it was probably fine because it seems like it's the older ones that have the risk of rubbing off their face paint, I was still so nervous. I wanted to use something really, really soft, not abrasive at all, and it worked perfectly for me, at least for this doll. I really didn't need to scrub. Draculara wasn't in that rough of condition at all, so it worked really well. Then I squeezed out all the excess water and soap on all of the different accessories so that I could then take them to my sink to give them a good rinse, because I didn't want to go back and forth with the camera, so I didn't show you that footage, but I promise I rinsed out all the soap in my sink. Alright, so we're back. Everything's nice and clean. It's been rinsed, including Draculara, the babe. Her hair is a hot mess. There was a ton of glue still left in it after the Gooby Gone. It helped. It helped a ton, but there was still a lot. So I ended up actually washing her hair multiple times, going back and forth between the liquid detergent and the Gooby Gone, and letting it sit for like 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever each time, but I did that a handful of times. Now I'm going to add some conditioner. So I wet her hair. This is fresh, clean water in this bin now, no more soap. So I dampened her hair because it had dried a little bit after I had last rinsed it with the soap detergent. That's redundant. The dish detergent, whatever, you get it. Took some of this conditioner, or not conditioner, not yet. I took some of the shampoo, really worked it into her hair, lathered it up, especially at the roots where I knew the most of the glue had been. The shampoo has some tea tree oil in it, so that kind of helps get the Gooby Gone residue off as well. It's just what I had lying around that didn't really work on my hair, so I'm not using it, so I don't feel bad using it on the dolls. It smells nice, so why not? Made sure I worked it in real good, especially in the bits where her hair had been put into buns, because those sections just really did not want to like straighten out at. Which, you know, relatable, but not helpful. And then we rinse. And I'm trying not to get too much on her face of the water or the shampoo or anything, because I just still am so worried about that face paint. I'm sure people who make the one-of-a-kind dolls and redo their faces themselves are probably laughing at me, because they probably struggle to get all the face paint off, but I'm just so worried about taking the smallest amount off. I used some conditioner. This smells like lavender, but again, it was just conditioner that didn't really work for me, so I had it laying around, and it'll make her hair smell nice, so why not? I put a little bit of that in there. It didn't want to come out because it's really low. I was not putting like a ton in her hair. I just couldn't get the pump to work. Tried to get it as straight and like kind of close to laying flat and properly as possible. Figured the more I trained the hair to do that, the better. I know I could have dunked it in some hot water and like boil washed it that way, but that makes me so nervous, especially since she already had glue seepage. I just didn't want to make the glue seepage worse. So then I went ahead, and while the conditioner was still on her hair, I took a doll brush that I had from another Barbie, a Color Reveal Mermaid Barbie, which I was underwhelmed by, and started brushing her hair with that while the conditioner was in it. So again, I could train her hair to kind of sit flat the way I wanted it to. Worked out any tangles, starting at the end and really holding onto the hair so I wasn't yanking it out of the doll head. Just gently working through all those tangles, which she had plenty of. Propped her up, made sure her hair that was covered in conditioner now wasn't in the water, and let it sit. And then once it had sat for a while, I came back. I ran my fingers through it, kind of making sure it was broken up a little bit from the like little coil I had created for it to rest in, and started rinsing it out. I used some of the water in the spray can just because I wanted to get the top of her hair and her bangs kind of wetted without actually like dunking her entire head because I didn't want to get her face in there. I ended up putting more of her head in the water anyway, like this. Whee! Oh man, when you're in the bathtub, that's the most fun thing for me to do. Like I love just submersing my like scalp and moving and feeling my hair wiggle in the water. I don't know, I'm a weirdo. Anyway, I worked out all the conditioner, made sure I didn't leave any in because then she would feel greasy again and that's not what we want. I mean, at least it would be conditioner and not gross glue, but it would still collect dust and attract it, and I would have to go through this all over again. So I made sure to get all of the conditioner out, and after I gave her a rinse in this water, I checked her hair, kind of felt if it was still gooey or not, and then ran her through my sink water as well, so it was nice and clear and clean. So we put her on the stand so she could dry off, um, and her hair could dry and her body could dry and everything. So I went ahead and took a paper towel and kind of like squeezed out the excess water that was still in her hair, tried to get everything nice and dry as much as possible without like blow drying it or anything crazy. I made sure to brush her hair with that same doll brush, just so it would sit kind of nicely and kind of train the hair as it dried to dry the way I wanted it to, which I may or may not have succeeded in doing, but you know, I'm learning. And now for the big reveal. Kind of. She's not done in this state, but her hair is dry now. It's still crinkled, but whatever. Her clothes are nice and clean. Look at how much better they just like lay on her body. Like it all just fits so much better. Yeah, and her face looks so much more bright and sparkly and just, you know, correct. You can see her fangs better. Her hair is so much softer. I can't even begin to describe how much softer her hair is now. It still looks like a mess in this shot where I've literally just let it dry. The little like bits where it was in a bun are still really horrible. Her bangs are really nice though, and I haven't trimmed it or anything yet. So I tried to go ahead, just jump in and put her hair in pigtails. I'm gonna start by saying this is a painful thing. There's this spot on the back of her head, I guess where like her headband that's big and plastic, which I don't have, sat on her head. It created a bald spot, or they left it bald. Um, so I tried really hard to like use the bangs or something to kind of cover that bald spot because I didn't want to recreate the exact same hairstyle. I wanted her to have her signature pigtails. So I tried to do that while also not exposing this bald spot. And it was a mess. Also, I'm gonna speed up my struggle because it was a struggle. Also, the painting on her scalp, where it's supposed to be black so it kind of blends better, was terrible. And I don't know if it just washed off or if they just didn't paint it very well or what. I don't know. I haven't looked at enough Monster High dolls for comparison, but it wasn't very good on the back of her head. So, like, if you left any bit exposed, it really was noticeable. And it was so hard to make a hairline where the hairline wasn't split down the back of the doll's head. I don't know. I tried my best. I really did. And you'll see how it turns out. But I do think one day I might try to reroot this Draculara's hair, maybe, and see if maybe like if I can add more hair or something. I don't know. I'm still learning, but I think it still needs some work. I'm not 100% happy with her hair, but anyway, enjoy me struggling. I tried giving her like different kinds of ponytails, like making her pigtails have braids in them and twisting them a certain way, or like literally anything I could think of to help it sit the way I needed it to sit on her head and not give her any bald spots. Oh my gosh. This is bringing back horrible memories. Oh, Draculara, you are so worth it, but man, did I struggle. Okay, so here we go. I got so frustrated, it's the next day. Outfit change. But here is Draculara, finally completely done. All her glory. I still wanted to trim her hair a little bit, but I managed to get it into 2 low ponytails, so she had her cute pigtails. Very cute. The back of her head, you still can see some bald spots, but we're not going to talk about that. This definitely is something I want to try to do again once I know better how to work with doll hair. So yeah, I did a little cutting, got any stragglers snipped away so that I could kind of see, took care of her bangs a little bit, all that good stuff. But I think one day maybe I clean this doll up, I might end up reselling her and getting a different Draculara because I need those pretty pigtails, and this doll just really wanted to fight me on it. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm pretty happy. I mean, doesn't look the best, but it doesn't look the worst, and her hair is definitely so much better than it was when I first got her. That glue seepage problem is gone. She's nice and clean. Her clothes are so cute. Like, it's better. I did make her this cute little bow headband though. It's very simplistic and took 5 seconds to make, but I thought it would help cover up that bald spot on the top of her head, which my camera, for whatever reason, did not want to show you existed, but I swear it's there and it drives me crazy. So I made this little bow reminiscent of her plastic one that I don't have, which I didn't like the way the plastic one looked anyway, if I'm honest. I thinned the edges so that it would stay and not like fray and get weird. Just nice, quick little touches of fire. How do you make your Monster High accessories if not with threat of burning your fingers off? So I didn't want to actually tie it around her head. I wanted it to tuck into her hair. So I thought the easiest way to do this would to be cut it on both sides and then just tuck it into the little bits of her hair. So I singed the edges of these also, so they were not going to fray and be obnoxious. It doesn't sit in her hair as securely as maybe I would want it to, but I mean, unless you're throwing her around, it stays, it's fine. So here is the finished product. Her hair is not the best, but it's not the worst. I'm actually pretty happy that I managed to get the glue out and it's a nice, soft feel. Sure, her hairstyle didn't work as well as I wanted it to, but again, that was because it was cut and made to be in a different style than I wanted it to be. So I'll figure it out one day, but in the meantime, here is my Draculara. I love her to bits. And stay tuned if you like this kind of content. Make sure you subscribe, like the video. It helps me a ton if you do. Comment, say something fun. Tell me who your favorite Monster High doll is. I would love to know. Draculara's mine. Who would have guessed, right?